Hi.
Hello.
We're back with another nitpicky Harry Potter episode. I'm still your host, Nightshayd, and my friend here is still called Cecilia. Let's get to it.
We will never finish this series. This is already part 5 of book 3. And the later books are longer. Help.
No.
Why?
I'm not helping you. Question for the day. Cecilia?
Yes?
If you were forced, emphasis on forced, because why would you do it willingly, to transmigrate into a Harry Potter character, but you could at least choose who it would be, who would you become? You may pick a first and secondary choice.
Please clarify something first. Do we transmigrate at some random point in the lives of this character, or are we reincarnated, or...
Well,
Please.
In the broad sense of you're reborn into them. You've got full freedom within their circumstances.
Okay, that makes it a bit easier, I believe. Or harder. It is a very tough question. Do I want to change things? And if yes, what would I want to change? I know my anxiety would kill me if I tried to change things, and I would be terrified of not knowing what my changes would entail in the long run. I can't underestimate the butterfly effect. Helga Hufflepuff could be cool, and way before Harry's time, so I could avoid all that shit that goes down there.
But you don't know what should happen during her time. And the Muggles were actively hunting witches during her time.
Darn it. No plumbing either. I believe it's old. I need my toilets and warm running water.
Important, yes.
Okay. So that is out of the question. We need to move to Harry Potter's time. Definitely not the main character's parent generations. No, because butterfly. I don't want to be one of the main characters either. It's no. Hufflepuff side character. Preferably between the generations, but we don't really know anyone there other than Tongs, who is also important to the plot. So Harry's generation, after all. We know Hannah Abbott, Susan Bones, and Megan Jones. The last one not really though, but we know the name. And I believe that was a condition named character.
Yes. I mean, a character, you would have to know that the character exists to be able to choose them, wouldn't you?
Yes. Being reborn means I don't have to worry about other people noticing I took over the body. So someone who, we know, nothing about would actually be a really good idea, because then I can't mess, with the main plot, or just by being a side character. It's no main plot. If you don't know them, they have nothing to do with that at all. So Megan Jones, first choice. Hannah Abbott or Susan Bones. I would be fine with either one for my second choice.
How boring.
I am a boring person, you know that. I'm the boring human here.
Fine, I'll accept it. No taking it back now. You do realize, Cecilia, that you'll be witness to all the shit going down during Harry's time at Hogwarts, right?
Yes.
There's a basilisk on the loose that you're not safe from because you don't have plot armor. There's Umbridge terrorizing the school who you're not safe from because you don't have plot armor. Moldy killing people left and right, including your family probably, because we don't know that. Death Eaters teaching you to use the Cruciatus curse on other students.
Well, I'm still not taking it back.
Well, have fun at a death trap of a school.
I will.
Surrounded by madmen.
I mean, I would be in the world no matter what I choose. So, pick your poison, and I picked mine.
True.
What's your poison?
Personally, I'm thinking Tom Riddle might be fun.
What?
That way, Woolly wouldn't stand in my way of plunging the magical world in utter chaos just because I can. But I don't want to grow up in a London orphanage with World War II around the corner. Crookshanks would also be cool. Do we know what happened to him during the Second British Magical War?
Crookshanks? I don't remember hearing about him after everything went down.
Anyway, so my first choice would be Harpo the Fowl.
Who?
He was a ancient Greek wizard, has a chocolate frog card. He's in the books. He was the inventor of basilisks and horcruxes. He clearly had a talent for the dark arts. No one even knows whether he ever died. It could be perfectly alive in canon, actually. So, yeah, because I need genetics in my favor, and Tom Riddle and Harpo the Fowl it's like the brain needs to be able to keep up with me, and they would definitely be able to, right? I can totally do what he did, invent horcruxes and basilisks, and I can definitely do more, and then use the 2,000 to 3,000 years leading up to Grindelwald and Voldemort to secretly build an undead army, placing my little inferi all over the world, and then start a zombie apocalypse.
Why am I not surprised by that, at all? I mean, I was surprised at first, but then you continued, and now I'm really not surprised anymore. That fits perfectly.
Apocalypse! The world is my oyster. No, I don't like oysters, never mind.
I don't like oysters either.
The second choice would be Nymphadora Tonks, because she can change her appearance at will, and this nicely outside the main character generations.
Yeah, that's wow, that's a completely different direction. It's like, first choice, start a zombie apocalypse. Second choice, I just want to change my appearance at will.
Yeah. Shape-shifting. I can still start a lot of shit with the shape-shifting ability,
True.
I could still start a zombie apocalypse. It would just take longer, but I can wreak a lot of havoc with just the ability to shapeshift.
Why do you need to wreak havoc everywhere you go?
Hey, the world is already bad enough as is. Might as well make it worse. Have fun with it. And then move on to another world.
As long as I'm not there, have fun.
And then move on to another world. You don't want to become one of my zombies?
Not really. No.
Your choices won't affect the timeline anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. You're a zombie now.
Yes, but you would be able to control me, and I would lose my free will.
You would eat other people.
And I don't want to eat other people.
Nom 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 nom.
No.
Okay. Hem. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Chapter 15. The Quidditch Final.
The title alone tells me that we will ignore the majority of this chapter.
Yeah, well, Buckbeak got sentenced to death. Sure, whatever.
Why has Hagrid sent Hermione a letter that they lost Buckbeak's trial? He could have just gone back to Hogwarts and told them, doing the next meal in the Great Hall? Is it because of the appeal? Does he have to stay because of that? Or does Hagrid not attend meals in the Great Hall anymore? Because apparently they can only see him during class now? I get the restrictions on going out in the evenings, so they can't just go down and visit him. But what about mealtimes?
I'm assuming they're busy during mealtimes, but maybe he's just too emotional to leave his hut where Buckbeak is, who's been sentenced to death. It's raining. Oh, it's raining.
Oh yeah, it is. Well, Toffee is still sleeping.
I'm cold.
Well, light a candle.
It's a trend nowadays. I could do that, yes. Maybe between episodes. Where were we? Okay, also in this chapter, because of Buckbeak. Buckbeak. There's an altercation with Draco, because of course there is. And Hermione slaps Draco. Nice one. Although the film's version of a punch is also good, but I love that. Slap him. Slap that. I shouldn't say that word. Slap him. Hermione, do it.
Slap him. And because of that slap, they're now late for charms. Even though the interaction wasn't that long, I don't think they have enough time between classes, to be honest. What if they need to go pee? Or had divination? Right after Care of Magical Creatures, that would have meant going up all the way to the top of a tower. 10 minutes is not enough for that.
Yeah, 10 minutes is standard break time, right? I think.
Most schools. In schools, but schools are also usually not Hogwarts castles.
Yeah. So standard break time, but not nearly enough in a freaking castle. Or maybe it's 20 minutes, but still not enough in a freaking castle.
Yeah. And why
I lit a
didn't
candle.
Hermione go into charms with them and use the time turner after to go to her other class? Or did she reset after Care of Magical Creatures because she had another class that was parallel to that one?
No idea. Someone is not thinking clearly. It could be either Hermione or the author, and both would work. It's apple cinnamon, by the way. The candle.
Oh, cinnamon. Well, I have rose sandalwood.
I mean, it was the only one within reach. So.
I mean, I was contemplating apple cinnamon, but then I decided on rose and sandalwood in the end.
How is it?
It's nice. Nice and subtle.
And compared to your normal sandalwood?
Well, it has rose in it as well, so the scent is slightly different.
I mean, obviously. So, that's not what I'm asking.
It's not what you're asking?
How do you like it compared to normal sandalwood candles?
That is a tough question that I can't answer.
Okay. I mean, I have a second one I just noticed in my room, but it's the cinnamon cookie one that you also got, which was so extreme in strength of
I mean,
smell.
Usually I buy just candles, like only candle and not candle in glass, so that I don't produce so much glass waste. But this one was only available in a glass.
I know.
And compared to other sandalwood candles in the glass,
I pointed it out to you.
I prefer this one because the glass is black.
Ah, I see. I mean, I rarely buy. I only buy candles when I like the smell enough to do it. So I rarely use them. But most of the candles I use are little tea lights that I use to melt White Rabbit candy, and they don't smell like anything. They produce plastic waste.
I have tea lights that smell of sandalwood or apple cinnamon.
I don't know where I got this apple cinnamon from. It's really, really big. And it's almost burnt down entirely. Yeah, and the other one, I don't know. We bought that together. I know why we bought that together. Because the store we bought it at was at a discount. It had a discount because it was closing. That's why we bought that. And it was like there wasn't much left.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true.
But it has such an... And I still have free candles from IKEA that I bought years and years ago that smell like chocolate, brownie, and chocolate cookies. I never use them because they smell so good. It would be too sad to use them.
I used them up.
Okay, back to...
classes?
Yeah, at a school. Wow. You know, I'm putting us on another tangent now because we need more tangents, obviously, right?
Right.
Divination is actually kind of cool. I would not, of course, enjoy it as a class with Trinalni, probably. But I do occasionally do card readings or work with my pendulum, among other things. Although my cards sometimes get a bit sassy with me. I don't know what I did to deserve that. You remember the other day when I did a card reading and my cards were all like, oh, you're asking about something you're uncertain about. Here, have the uncertainty card to tell you just how uncertain you currently are. And we're not gonna be clear about the next steps. Nah, not doing that.
No, never.
And then I was like, okay, maybe, well, I'm already doing this. Might as well ask a question that I always ask. And it's like, I dare to do this. And they always tell me I'm not supposed to ask. Guess what the question is?
Well, the question would be, why are you here and trapped here and can't leave?
Yes, exactly. They went full on direct, learn to finally listen. And then the other card was like, sometimes it's better not to learn something. And I was like, God damn it.
Wow. You will never know at this point.
The best bit is cards aren't supposed to be this obvious. They're supposed to be...
vague so that you can interpret them?
Yeah. Not extremely, literally, directly, literal. Just, I don't know. The friend who gifted me the cards said I might need a new set, and I was like, I doubt the answers are gonna change. Besides, a sassy set of cards has an odd charm to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Sassy cards.
But yeah.
Yes.
No, I mean, my pendulum isn't for divination. I mean, divination isn't actually about the future. It's just divining something. You're trying to get answers to questions, you know, in a way. Just
like, where are my keys?
For example, yes. Or it's like, should I do this? Yes or no? Is this a good decision? Yes or no? What is my path going forward? Is this job a good idea for me? I don't know what. There are lots of things you could do. It's not always about the future. Or sometimes it's like, okay, a friend in need. Should I step in or not? Just to help you clarify. Divination, fortune telling is about telling fortune. Divination, not necessarily about stuff like that, right?
Okay.
I mean, there's so many things. Tasseomancy, necromancy, psychomancy. Well, that's the same as necromancy, technically psychomancy. Hematomancy, I believe it was called. There's so many things. Well, I know mancy. It's just, I could list you a lot of things that can, in this case, actually, if it's a mancy at the end, it's about the fortune, because mancy, I believe, was Greek for prophecy. So in that case, it's definitely about the future, but divination itself is broader. Palmistry.
So now that we know that divination is not always about unfogging the future, but answering questions, I have a question.
Of course.
The night before, was it the night before shit goes down?
Quidditch Cup.
So.
Quidditch Cup.
Oh yeah, the night before the Quidditch
Which
Cup.
is the title of this chapter.
Oh, I forgot about that. Too many tangents.
We need more
Harry
tangents.
wakes up and looks outside of the window, up in Gryffindor Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees this. Let me look at my notes so that I don't get it wrong. An animal of some kind was prowling across the silvery lawn.
Prowling. You prowl. You're on the prowl.
Isn't that what I said?
You said prowling. Prowl.
English.
You prowl. You're a proud cat prowling. Sorry.
An animal of some kind was prowling across the silvery lawn. Harry dashed to his bedside table, snatched up his glasses and put them on, and then hurried back to the window. So, you mean to tell me that Harry, who can't see shit without his glasses, was able to distinguish an animal-like creature moving across the lawn up from Gryffindor Tower? No shot.
For a moment,
no
I
shot.
For a moment, I thought you said an animal-like creature. And then I realized, no, you meant animal-like creature.
An animal-like creature, not creature.
Yeah.
Not creature.
I mean, there's a reason he's called creature.
Yes.
There's a reason for that. But yeah, I was like, wait a second. And I was like, oh no,
Okay.
yeah, that's not what you meant.
So the person who can't see anything, not even like his outstretched hand, if he doesn't wear his glasses, was able to make out an animal moving across the lawn from up on a very high tower of a castle. And with his glasses, he can now recognize that it is, in fact, a cat, and is even able to identify it as Crookshanks, our lovely, lovely Crookshanks. I'm not convinced. Not at all. Not even with 120% eyesight would you be able to do that. You would not be able to identify Crookshanks. Crookshanks is even at the edge of the forest, which is not exactly right next to the tower.
Yeah, agreed.
So you can't divine the answer to my question why he was able to do that.
Wait, is 200% possible eyesight?
120%?
No, 200. 120 is easy, that's what most people have, but 200?
Yes. I don't, maybe with the aid of magic, you have like enhancing spells that work like magnifying glasses.
I could imagine that his glasses could be able to do that if he had ever bothered actually getting proper glasses, but like he has had these for years. They are definitely not the right prescription anymore. I doubt Harry could. He's probably not even at 100%.
And who says the Dursleys got him the right prescription when he got the glasses?
Yeah, it's definitely not. Why would it be the right description?
Definitely not.
It's it's impossible. It's impossible.
And yet, our protagonist still did it.
To those confused about the percentages, maybe look up prescription. How is it? It's a bit. Technically, it was like 1.0 is the standard, but then people got confused if you tell them that they have 0.8 eyesight, so they changed it to percentages. 100 and if you have 100 in each eye, then you can technically reach 120 with both eyes, but not always. Some people reach 100 together with. It's complicated. And I think not all countries use the system, and for some the percentages are different because the standard is different. Don't ask me.
Why?
It be like that. Also, my favorite future divination thingies. Not astrology, but clairvoyance, for example, is also something where you can... clairvoyance is also not about the future. It's in the name. Scrying is another one. Palmistry, I mentioned. Cartomancy is what I'm doing, reading the cards. There's a different word for that, I believe, if you specifically use tarot cards. Is that how you pronounce it?
You asked the wrong person.
I'm not using those, though. I use other cards. Yeah. Oneiromancy is, I believe, about dreams. Pyromancy. Set shit on fire.
Fire.
Hematomancy, blood. Arithmancy, which is... I always wonder why Hermione is... She's so against divination, but she literally goes to arithmancy, and arithmancy is... numerology. It's numerology. You divine the future by using numbers. Necromancy, the best one. Tasseomancy is when you read leaves. Palomancy? No, have I mentioned Palomancy, I believe, is something different from palmistry, but I could be wrong. Osteomancy is also something you can do. Sciamancy. Nichiomancy. Anthropomancy. Haruspicy. These are all related to necromancy, by the way, because they have to do with dead things. That's just an... I mean, I believe there's a Wikipedia article that lists, like, all of the things. I'm more focused on necromancy-related things, but... You can lose a lot of things just to divine something. Preferably you burn shit, or you use dead bodies and you cut them up and use their innards, you know, or bones. One of these was the bones. You scatter bones. Which one would you want to use, Cecilia?
I want to use the fire.
Yeah.
Pyromancy.
Yes, because pyromancy is divining the future with pyrokinetics. Pyrokinesis is if you control and manipulate fire. So technically, most necromancers are not necromancers, they are necrokinetics. Or something. Necrologists? Necrology?
Yeah, because they're not divining, they're raising the undead and creating undead armies.
It's just how words change, but mancy is prophecy, I believe. Greek. If I become Herpo the Foal, I can speak ancient Greek.
Can you, though? Because you're reborn and he hasn't learned the language yet. You would need to learn it by yourself.
Yes. I mean, I would learn it as I grow up in his body. As I am now him. And then I'm gonna be the one who invented basilisks and horcruxes and zombies.
How can you invent a creature?
He invented it! I mean, he bred it. He was the first to create basilisks. I still wonder why there are female and male basilisks when what you do is you hatch a chicken egg from a frog under a frog. Like why would they have biological different sexes in that case? Or is it just their gender expression that they feel like they should express themselves in a different gender even though they don't need to reproduce? I don't understand.
Me neither.
So, large chunk of this chapter, back to Harry Potter, is of course Quidditch, because of course it is. I will not comment on the idiocracy that is Quidditch and the Quidditch House Cup and the dependency on good brooms. I will not.
And since you won't, I will, because I can't complain about this enough. But I haven't won the Quidditch Cup since Charlie graduated. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. 2 or 3 years with no victory. So terrible. Other houses are not exactly better off. How long has it been since Hufflepuff won the cup, Harry? My house also would like to win the cup every now and then.
What's a Hufflepuff?
Hufflepuffs are very great finders.
What the hell is a Hufflepuff? Never heard of that before.
I suppose I'm non-existent in that case.
I mean, if you are reborn into Hufflepuff and decide to eat yourself the hell out of there, then Hufflepuff will never exist.
Yes.
Hogwarts is
so what the hell is Hufflepuff?
The 4 great houses of Hogwarts. Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and the 4th one that just takes whoever doesn't fit the rest. You know?
Who also never had a founder because there was none.
Yeah, no one wanted you guys. Sorry, no house name for you. You're just
Sorry.
the rest.
You're just the rest. And apparently, all the rest of the school besides Slytherin is wearing scarlet. Like, why would Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw even care?
Well, we are evil. We snakes are evil, of course. Didn't you know that? And
I mean, yes.
I mean,
if you literally invented basilisks and Horcruxes, I suppose you are.
Obviously, Herr Potterfall was never at Hogwarts. He existed before Hogwarts.
He would definitely have been a Slytherin, though.
I mean, of course. He and Salazar would have gotten on like a house on fire. Literally. Literally. No, I mean, of course, Hufflepuff and the Ravenclaw don't stand a chance at the cup either, because why would they? They're not good. Only Ravenclaw. Only Slytherin and Gryffindor are good at this Quidditch thing. So might as well cheer for the not evil house, which, I wouldn't do that in their situation. I wouldn't cheer for either house at all, because why the f would I do that?
I'm like, why would I even care? If I'm not really interested in Quidditch, then I'm just not going to do anything.
There's no way.
Wear scarlet.
There's no way that every student is interested in Quidditch and interested enough to cheer for a different house.
Precisely. We also, once again, have math that isn't mathing because there are 200 people wearing green. Like, 10 times 7 is 70. Leaves 130 others that would need to wear green. Maybe a few teachers? All the math goes like this. 200 minus 10 of Harry's here. Maybe minus 10 for staff members. I don't know. Leaves 180 people. Divided by 6 years means 30 kids per year per house. Is Harry's year just 1/3 of the usual size? A bit small.
I mean,
tiny. Oh.
We did already kind of figure that out in book 1, I believe. And everyone knows the math ain't mathing. Because the author is very, very bad at math.
Never mathing. How does Harry even know it's exactly 200?
Good question.
We will never know.
Did you know how many students there were in your school?
We had like roughly 26 per class and 4 classes per like year. And so I could calculate that if I wanted to.
I mean, the graduating class of my friend was 99. Exactly 99 students, divided by 4 classes. Well, not divided by 4 classes anymore, because the last 2 years at their school is not... It's a course system thingy. You know what I mean? It's not...
Yeah.
So you don't have set classes anymore like that. Or whatever you would call that.
My school should have had like 650 to 700, I believe.
Sounds like an average school.
Yeah.
Which is what Hogwarts is also supposed to be.
But it isn't.
For one entire country, that's a bit sad, though. So little magical people.
It's not even just one country. It's Great Britain, because we have England, we have Wales, we have Scotland, Ireland.
Is it confirmed? Do we know that Hogwarts is for the entirety of Britain?
I mean...
Oh yeah, because the government, the Irish, I believe the Magical Ministry of Ireland belongs to Britain, or wait, no, wait. I don't remember these facts anymore, I forgot. But once upon a time I knew these things, but who cares? Honestly, the math ain't mathing, we leave it at that.
The math ain't mathing, and how is there enough space on a broom to do a cartwheel? Or did she cartwheel on air? Like literally? Did a cartwheel in the air?
I'm assuming you're talking about one of the Quidditch players?
Yes, because we're still at the Quidditch Cup and I wanted to move on from the math that ain't mathing.
Yeah, so one of the characters cartwheeled. I'm assuming she cartwheeled and did not do a cartwheel, because that's different.
It is?
Yes. To do a cartwheel is what you're thinking about? The sideways movement that makes you look like a wheel? And to cartwheel, that is literally just basically doing a roll, which wouldn't be difficult at all on a broom. You can just do a roll.
And why did the author not just write that they did a roll in the air?
Because cartwheel is literally the same thing, to cartwheel.
Yes, but then people like me don't understand because they don't know the difference.
Yeah, but why would she care about it? I would also use cartwheel. Maybe not in this situation, but like... for something else, and if the situation fits. I mean, a cartwheel is an object, you know?
I suppose.
It's legit English. It works. It's fine. It's good.
I'm just not meant to understand. They're using too complicated words.
Basic words. Okay. Moving on from the terrible, terrible sports that no one cares about, but it's unfortunately the only sports they have. Chapter 16. Professor Trelawney's prediction. We're already in June now. And we got 7 out of 22 chapters for June. And most of that even one specific day. So it's like not even, because 1 month, okay, that would be 8% of the year, but one day, that's 1 in 365? 56? Wait. How many days does a human year have? A sun
365 year? And in a leap year, 366.
Okay. Yeah, no, I always get confused about whether your years are 56 or 65. Anyway, it's like such a small, tiny, tiny, tiny percentage. And that takes up 32% of the entire book.
That's a lot of chapters just for one day or like 1 month.
Yeah.
It's,
Of course, it's also at the end of the year because shit always happens at the end of the year. Very convenient, and it's always after the damn exams.
Never before the exams. No.
Villains need to wait.
June.
It's school education important, so the villains are very nice and wait. Apparently.
Definitely, they care about the education of all these people. But anyway, what I wanted to say, now that we are in June, the weather is really nice, but they have to study inside for some reason. Why can't they just study outside? Take their books and notes and sit outside under a tree. Is it because of the security restrictions? But that can't be, because once the exams are over, they are all going outside to enjoy the nice weather. So why?
Well, for one, you don't have tables out. I don't believe that the Hogwarts ground have picnic tables in the library, because we never hear about them, which is oversight. You should have picnic tables on your grounds. Then again, they have magic, but who knows how to conjure up a table? No one ever does magic. So no proper
magic
space.
School, no one does ever
Yeah,
magic.
no proper space to work without getting your things dirty. No library at your disposal for spontaneous bouts of wanting to look something up. The list goes on. Also, I doubt they have established efficient studying methods at that age. That would have ended with them in possession of concise notes to look over. Maybe Hermione. I can see Hermione doing that. But none of the humans I know at that age knew how to efficiently, effectively study, you know?
I mean, at that age, I didn't study at all.
Or that. That's also valid. I mean, what I did for university, which doesn't count because university is not school, is write it all out, write it down in an orderly fashion, then write a concise version, then write an even more concise version, and then I was done. I did not learn or study this. Sometimes I read through it again, but it's the writing down that made me memorize it. I mean, if it's logic, you don't need to learn it, right? Either it's logical or you don't care.
Yes, either it's logical or I just don't care. So,
But yeah, they're kids.
Yeah, I suppose you're right, and they didn't have that yet at that age.
So I don't know how they studied, but they did something, and it probably required a table and a library.
I suppose so.
Never mind that there doesn't even seem to be a theoretical part in the first place. Because all we hear about is the kids performing spells. And those they could and should have practiced outside.
Yes, they should definitely practice the spells outside and under supervision. But what about, like, history of magic, astronomy? Those should have, like, theoretical portions. Especially history of magic, because what spell would you perform there?
I mean, history, yeah, but astronomy is still somewhat practical, because you just look at the stars.
But it's still, you need to, like, interpret what that means.
Yes,
and write it down, which is not just waving your wand around. More
but
theoretical than practical.
The others are all just wave your wand, say a word, hope it works.
Yeah.
Read a crystal. Make a prophecy. But, I mean, they know Trelawney loves you could just make literally anything up and it would have been fine for divination.
Predict someone's death?
Yeah.
Preferably Harry's.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Wouldn't that have been nice to see?
Okay, continuing with exams. Hermione has to take exams at the same time. At first, not surprising. After all, some of the electives she took had their lessons simultaneously. So it makes sense that exams might also be at the same time for those subjects. Depending a bit on how many people took the electives, it's maybe because maybe popular, so more than one class, so maybe 2 classes for some electives. Maybe that's how they worked it out in the end. But then, because then you could hold like the exams together, even though some people took like both of these subjects. Then you can still like, okay, classes at a separate time, but exam together. But for Hermione, that wouldn't work because, wait, that wouldn't work for the others. I lost my train of thought.
It doesn't
there, I
work.
suppose.
It doesn't work. End of.
It just doesn't work either way. And the main part is, anyways, electives at the same times as core subjects. It's
Yeah. Yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
work.
I'm sure I don't need to tell anyone that scheduling core exams, core subject exams, that everyone takes at the same time as the selectives, it's stupid. It's stupid. It is stupid. Unless the exams are separated by, for example, houses, which would be the first thing you would divide them by. Or you mix them up and make it random, which I guess could also work. But why would they do that? Why would they go that far? And then Hermione takes arithmancy and ancient runes just with... I mean, she's scheduled, it doesn't matter who she would take it with. It's just... If you divide it by houses, it means no Gryffindor, not a single Gryffindor took arithmancy or study of ancient runes.
Yes, that...
Or Hermione takes it with a different... But still, why would she not take it with her house? Why?
It just doesn't add up. It's also... Would the teachers really like want to conduct multiple exams? Because if you only conduct one exam, then you would prevent cheating to a certain degree, because if you hold them at different times, you could technically ask the other houses what was like on your exam. And it would only result in more work for the teachers, and they are chronically understaffed anyways.
I mean, they just have them do a tap, make this pineapple do a tap dance. You transform this hedgehog into a needle. See? Different exams. Easy peasy.
I suppose.
Although I think one of them is charms and the other transform. Who cares? Just ask them different spells. So it's mostly practical parts. And in this case, they have to do it on different days because, well, they don't have the time to do all students in a single day.
Yes, they don't have the time for that.
And Binns wouldn't care about cheating. He's a ghost. He probably has them write the same exam every single year. Like, every second year ever gets the same exam.
Hey. But I mean, not managing all the students in like one day. They have to apparently be able to do one entire year in just like the morning session, because there is a specific mention that the third years emerged from Transfiguration at lunchtime on Monday, which means they started in the morning, were done apparently by lunchtime, and third years, implying all third years, were there. Also, that was at the same time as arithmancy and ancient runes exams, I believe. So they all missed and failed those if they just attended the Transfiguration exam. So, okay.
Well,
elective subject failed. Sorry.
Harry, the narrator, could just be simplifying. For example, if you say, okay, the Gryffindors and Hufflepuffs took the exam together, why would he just say that? Like, yeah, the third years. part of the 30. Who cares? Why would he explicitly say it? He doesn't say explicitly that it's all of the 30th. Could just be part of them.
Mm-mm. But I took it as all 30
Or maybe
years.
it's like, if they don't divide it by house, but just do it randomized, then like, yeah, it's the 30th he was taking the exam with, but why would he write it this convoluted? Or, the real answer. The author simply didn't bother thinking about it, because why would you do that?
Ah, yes, that must be it.
Like taking an exam at midnight. Like having classes at midnight. And then you have to get up in the morning. Wonderful for children.
It's, and then exam at midnight, or like 2 exams during the day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, then have an exam at midnight, and then the next morning you have the next exam, and then the afternoon another exam. It's, too many exams.
Yep.
I would be tired, especially since the one after astronomy this year is history of magic in the morning.
Oh yeah,
it's
hard not to fall asleep there.
I can only say one thing. That's rough, buddy.
Indeed it is. So Draco, Harry notes, actually seems to be looking forward to Buckbeak's execution with glee. Goodness, either Draco is truly so self-absorbed and ruthless and childishly naive that he thinks he's in the right here, or he doesn't realize the consequences of his actions at all. That he's getting an innocent animal killed.
I think it's the latter.
I think the author just didn't care to think about it.
Valid point. If they're going to execute Buckbeak, they should also fire Hagrid or execute every hippogriff out there.
Agreed. Yes. We also, of course, get the titular prophecy. Trelawney's second real prophecy. Dum dum dum. Part of this prophecy tells us his servant has been chained these 12 years, and that he will break free and so on and so forth. That doesn't sound like Peter, though. That sounds like Barty.
Yeah, that sounds more like Barty than Peter, because Peter is not in chains.
On that note, why is Peter still around? He could have fled the country or something. He's a rat. Sirius would have never found him. Instead, he's hiding in Hagrid's milk jug.
I don't know why he did not do that. Also, why would you need to pour the milk from the bottle into the jug? Can't you pour it directly from the bottle into the mug? It feels like an unnecessary extra step. I understand if you want like a nicer setting, more like fine dining, that you would then put it into a jug because it looks nicer. But in Hagrid's hut, when they are all crying because of the upcoming execution, I don't see the need.
Well, have you considered the possibility that the milk didn't come from a bottle, but directly from the source into the jug? Or
I mean, they did specifically write that Hermione took the bottle.
Or that the bottle might have been a rather large one. Because 2 possibilities. A, it's like a 5-liter milk bottle, or B, it's one of those you get from the farm when you get the milk directly from the cow, In which case it would be very...
need that much milk?
Of course Hagrid would have that much milk. Can you imagine how many animals he's... Oh, my candle is dying. How many animals he's feeding?
I don't know. Milk? It's never mentioned.
That's Hagrid.
I don't think the roosters that died in second year were fed milk.
Hagrid is a big person. I'm sure he drinks a lot of milk. And tea. So much tea. That's like... Or maybe it's just something like... Don't you use these really small milk jugs so you don't have to leave the rest of the milk out in the heat? Can put it back in the fridge.
Yes, but that's if when you are taking like long tea time together, that can last, I don't know, like 2 hours or something.
Also, tea time, but you mentioned tea time. It's a thing for tea time. People just do this.
Yes, but it just feels too fancy for the situation they are in at the moment.
Yeah, they're English. Sacred tea time. In Scotland, but they're English people.
Sure.
The sacred tea time.
Okay, sacred tea time. Is it even tea time at the time?
Tea. It's always tea time.
Even at like 11 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. All the tea time. Okay, I suppose that's because tea time, so pour it into a jug, and then you find a Peter, a random Peter Pettigrew. Or a rat,
no, my
I suppose.
candle! My candle!
Mine is still going, so I will continue as my candle is doing.
I'm gonna steal your little thingy, platform thingy, so I can burn out the rest of the candle later. You know what I mean?
Why was Peter hiding with the Weasleys? He could have led a quiet life in the Muggle world if he had wanted to. I suspect it's
Hey, I have
true.
a second apple cinnamon candle here. Where did you come from?
I suspect it's true that he wanted to hear news of the entire Voldy situation. Just in case he does come back into power.
Hey, quick question. If you say it 3 times, will you summon him? Like Beetlejuice? Voldemort, Voldemort, Voldemort.
Voldy. Eh?
No one here.
No Voldy appeared.
Too bad.
Aww. Maybe I need to do it at midnight in front of a mirror or something.
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Oh, wow, this one's strong. Holy shit. What was I thinking?
Okay.
Oh, it's
I was talking about Peter and Voldy, that he wanted to hear potentially news of Voldy's situation in case Voldy came back into power.
Candles are more important, I'm sorry.
Okay, then I'll just sit here and look pretty.
Don't you always? Will you burn?
Not in Harry Potter episodes, I actually talk doing those.
Occasionally. Still, most of this is blue for some reason. As in my color. Okay. This one's gonna burn for long. This one has a very nice glass. It's oh god, what do you call it? Milky? It has a very nice... I mean, you've also had this candle. You should know this. Oh, I like touching this. It's a candle podcast now. This is nice.
It's the ASMR candle podcast.
It's nice. I like this. Oh gosh, how much do I have to edit out later? Anyway, all the clinking and clicking. I heard you clinking your glass earlier, by the way. I'm assuming it was your glass.
I don't have a glass, I have a mug.
Same difference. So, Peter?
Yeah, I'm done with that now. I don't want to talk about Peter anymore.
But Peter. Creepy
candles.
Peter. Yes, candles, I know.
Does Peter want my peepers?
Oh, God. I can't believe 2 game characters have now said this to me. If they call you ice peepers, you know it's bad.
Then you know it's bad, no matter if it's a young scientist or an old creepy lady.
Oh, and I liked the old creepy lady, but then she said peeper instead of
I want your peepers.
Horror.
Peter was hiding in a milk jug, potentially because he wanted to hear news of the Voldy situation. And he came back into power, then he might get another chance to prove his worth, that he is actually worth something and not a total loser.
He's a loser.
And in case Voldy never came back into power, he could have just stayed in hiding with the Weasleys forever.
Yes.
He must have also been afraid of being found out by the remaining Voldy followers who would be out for his blood. But did they know that he was a rat animagus and could have found him because of that? Because, and even if he is still a rat, there are thousands of them around, millions. And if they didn't know in the first place, then how would they ever find out if he was hiding as a rat? They would have never found out. So, no reason to stay there and wait for news, right? Sirius is in Azkaban, James dead, Remus being preoccupied with his werewolf condition. So who would there be who would tell that he is a rat animagus, you know? To the important people who need to know. Very low risk of being found out. So why not hide with a visiting family after all, I suppose?
Well, he's an idiot. I don't want to know why he was living with the Weasley for 12 years, sleeping in that child's bed. Didn't
'Cause
seem
he's a
like he was
creepy one to
chained.
peepers.
Didn't seem like he was chained, as the prophecy words it. Creepy Peter, coward Peter. Who knows what goes on in his head? Yeah. I mean, he's voluntarily apparently now gonna go looking for Voldemort.
Stupid move.
We clearly don't know Peter and his motivations at all, because it's odd. The picture I have of him does not fit any of the actions he did here. Any of what it doesn't fit. I have a picture of Peter in my head, and I'm assuming it's shaped, hopefully not from fanfiction, because I don't read fanfiction that involves Peter. Shaped from what we see of him in the later books, where we actually meet him and interact with him outside the Scabbers thing. And it does not fit all this going to the Weasleys, staying with them, now going willingly to look for Voldemort.
He's a coward and stupid, apparently.
And he does weird things. And it doesn't make sense. And I don't understand his motivations, because we were never told. We're never told.
Okay, now we have found Peter. We know we have June. And on this day, I took particular notice of, like, sunset. Now it's all of a sudden very dark. Because in June, you have the summer solstice. Usually on the 21st of June. And marking the longest day and shortest night of the year.
So it does.
I don't know which day precisely in June, like the whole day of the execution is taking place. But they've had multiple exams already, so it shouldn't be beginning of June anymore. Close enough to the solstice, in my opinion. And in 1993, on the 21st of June, sunset was at 9:22 p.m. at least in London. Which means that
in London.
Yeah, I know that, but I didn't know what city to look up precisely in Scotland, so I just went London. And this would imply that they left for Hagrid's around 9 p.m. and they left after everyone had exited the Great Hall after dinner. Some people must have had very late dinners.
Which year are we in?
Third year?
1993, right?
1993.
And you looked at the 21st
of June. Yes.
And I'm gonna.
And what time the sunset took place there?
I'm gonna say
London,
Edinburgh. No, I've been informed it's been Edinburgh. You pronounce
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh, yeah. It's not
Edinburgh.
It's not Edinburgh. It's Edinburgh. So
I learned that when I watched The Crown.
I learned that when I watched Good Omens.
Good Omens. Good Omens. In the beginning.
Okay. Year 1993. Month June. Go.
Sunset.
Okay. Sunset. Oh gosh. On the 21st, it would have been apparently at 10 p.m.
Wow. That's I mean, they are
sure
further
about
up
this?
north, and the further north you go, the later the sun sets. I mean, like on the North Pole,
Twilight.
I believe on the day of the solstice, the sun never really completely sets.
Okay, no, it doesn't tell me the twilight. Okay, yes. Interesting.
Well, in that case, they would have left for Hagrid's at like 9:40 p.m., which who eats dinner at that time?
Also, I mean, they turned the time turner 3 hours from midnight, so 9 p.m. would check out. On the other hand,
they only spent 10 minutes at Hagrid's.
Yeah, but
and then when they left, the sun was setting.
I mean, I had a note later in here. They are on the Scottish Highlands, but yeah, the sun. How would you even have looked it up back then? The internet was invented in the World Wide Web. Google came about
Libraries
in 1998.
Libraries.
Are we sure they have these information? Also, would you do that just for this small smidge of information no one cares about in a parallel world?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would also have done it, but not every author goes that far.
Yeah, I suppose I'm just used to you and being very meticulous.
Maybe
in your
just
research.
took a random day in June from her own experience. It was not the Scottish Highlands, and maybe the Scottish Islands are actually like that in 1993. How would we know? Chapter 17, Cat, Rat and Dog. Did I ever mention that none of these chapter titles are ever any fun, nor creative?
They really aren't fun or creative. They're boring. And sometimes spoilers.
So, time for a wild chase in the dark with a rat, a dog, and a cat involved. And as we just established, the sunset thing apparently doesn't make no sense.
Yeah, because now darkness is settling around them like a spell. That must mean it's 10 p.m. already? I'm just going to assume, okay, now that we're at the sunset at 10 p.m., it's going to get dark. The sun is, I don't know, he said Highlands behind the mountain or something. But still, if it's 10 p.m., these kids are up late. They need to go back to the tower after all and get ready for bed. But according to Remus, they had been at like Hagrid's for only 20 minutes. So that would mean not 10 p.m. yet. If they really did leave at 9, because turning it back by 3 hours. It's all just convoluted. Details are not very clear. It's
such an odd detail to get hung up upon.
Yeah, I don't know why my brain got hung up on it. It just did. And wanted to figure out all the time. And was the sunset? And did she actually
The sun
do any
is
research?
setting. It's dark now. Who cares why? We're in some weird parallel world where people willingly go to a death trap of a castle to learn magic that they will never use. So, chase. Which leads us to the Whomping Willow, which is certainly living up to its name. Myself, and I wonder how the Whomping Willow knows where to hit. It must be able to sense living beings or objects somehow. And, well, we know that Mad-Eye can see through the invisibility cloak, even though he shouldn't, because it's the cloak of invisibility. It's the cloak, but anyway. And you still show up on the map even if you use it, which you learn in this book. So we therefore know it's not perfect in hiding you. So the Willow would probably still be able to sense you while using the cloak, but it's interesting that Harry and Hermione never even thought to try using the cloak.
I also never would have thought to try. The option never even crossed my mind until now. Like, I didn't think of that while reading.
Apparently a normal human thing. To be fair to you, though, you didn't just drop an invisibility cloak.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that.
I
would also never drop the invisibility cloak like that. I would be like, precious family heirloom that I should not leave lying around because it's precious to me.
They were
and
just using
attached.
it, and I understand that running after Ron is important, but you shouldn't just let it drop to the ground behind you while you run. Oh, God.
For all that, Harry makes such a fuss about like his memories and the memories of like his parents and and that he never knew them. He really treats the family heirloom just like a random piece of cloth that can be left behind at any time with no value whatsoever.
Yep. Poor cloak, left behind. Good thing Snape picked it up. Don't lose your invaluable family heirloom, Harry. Honestly.
Don't you lose your Deathly Hollow. There are only 3 out there.
How and why is there a specific knot on the trunk that makes the tree immobile? I know why it's there, but how? Is it a natural occurrence in Whomping Willows? That wouldn't make sense evolutionary-wise, but... So it was probably specifically put there, but how? Magical means? Breeding? Added? How?
Magic.
Of course you would say that. So, okay, next. Crookshanks, best Harry Potter character ever, helps our 2 heroes out by immobilizing the tree. And they still don't take the super useful cloak with them? I suppose panic and nerves and other human emotions at play. Is that a valid reason, Cecilia, or are they simply idiots?
I mean, yes, it is a valid reason, but
They're also idiots.
Honestly,
Okay.
yes.
So they follow the cat, find Ron with Sirius Black. Harry starts a fist fight, and Harry, no. Don't aim a kick at the cat. How dare you? No.
Two sets of claws in your arm. It must be really painful. But do not kick the poor cat.
Don't do it.
Never. And how dare you even think about killing a cat? How dare you? Cat, please kill him.
Yes.
He asked for it.
Also, Harry, maybe, just a suggestion. Maybe constrain Black first. Or stun him or something. Then you'll have enough time to think about whether you are actually able to kill him or not, without having to worry about the man attacking you.
And enter Lupin. Why did Lupin disarm Harry and Ron when he hadn't yet discovered the Sirius and Peter had switched? He didn't know yet that Sirius was actually innocent, but he still disarmed Harry and Ron, who were pointing their wands at Sirius. The supposed mass murderer and murderer of your best friends? Was it just to make sure he could question Sirius? But did he truly think that these kids had it in them to kill Sirius?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong demon here. The important bit is, that's not a rat. That's a grown-ass man who's been sleeping in your bed with you. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Right. You can find us on X, Twitter, Spotify, and YouTube at teaandtoffees. I also play games on live. Play games live on weekends. Cecilia is there in some way, shape, form, or another, usually on Twitch at neitshayd. And occasionally post random art on Instagram, also at neitshayd. I'm working on something right now, actually.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the finished thing.
It's called.
I can look at it and stare at it.
It's Nightshade being hungry and looking at Baldur's Gate 3 characters because they look delicious. Nom nom
Yes.
nom 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 nom.
Yes, you are looking at Baldur's Gate 3 characters and want to eat them, I know. But I hope our audience enjoyed this episode. And if they did, they can leave us a comment. They can even do so if they didn't like us. But as which character would you choose to be reborn as? Would you be just as good as me? Would you want to start a zombie apocalypse?
Start one!
Like a certain demon?
Do it! Kill everyone! Kill them all! Kill them all! Every last one of them! Do it! Zombie apocalypse! Yes! Until next time. Bye.
Bye.